Hi, everybody. This is Coach Coons with Coach Porter on a Sunday night, July 14th, MLB draft night, and watching to see, I think in the top 9 picks, there's been one high school kid, quite a reversal from last year.
Yeah.
Um, but there's some big names up there. You know, some guys you saw in the College World Series. Coach, what's your take on it so far from what you've seen?
Some good players off the board. I think it's really important for guys if you're I know we're on the podcast right now and we're live, but turn the draft on. Listen to these analysts talk about tools, about the intangibles, about different things, about you're going to pick up a couple things about how scouts look at people. That obviously translates at a different level into what college coaches are looking at, and there could be some people that watch this that could be drafted. But take a look at that. They talk about they'll put kids' scouting reports on there, and they'll talk about the 20 to 80 scale that scouts use. So anyway, you'll learn a lot. So a lot of these kids are, especially the high school kids and these college kids are just like you in terms of their age and all that stuff. So watch it. You'll learn a lot about it. You'll learn, you may even learn about a little bit about where you stand as a player as well.
I think a couple points that brings up for me. Number one, uh, Joe Madden used to be the coach of the Cubs, then the Angels. Now he's an author and still in baseball. Had a great um interview on X talking about the programs that are there to see kids to make the major leagues now. The ones that seem to be thriving more are the ones who actually send the scouts out to see the kids and don't just go off analytics in a computer. And he makes a really good point. If you want to hear a good interview, just search Joe Madden on X and you'll find it. And if I can pull it up, I'll post it on our website. But he talks about how analytics, while there is a place in the game for it, it's starting to set baseball back some because they're not getting the players who are developing dynasties anymore because they're not seeing the whole kid. They're seeing
Yeah.
what they could do, and that was a great article. The other point I want to make, the transfer portal. We are at July 14th. There's still thousands of kids in the transfer portal waiting to go somewhere. It closed. You couldn't go in it, I believe, after July 2nd?
Yeah, I think so.
But they're still sitting there. There was 5,000, over 5,000 in there. So you got a couple thousand. I don't think they're just floating still. That are going to have to make a hard choice. Do they go back to their original school and hope they still have a scholarship? Or do they walk on somewhere else? Because once they left, that scholarship was null and void.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, if and I'll kind of hit on all the points you made. First of all, with the transfer portal, unless you've got, for me, unless you've got a family, heaven forbid, a family illness, some sort of family situation that might force you to leave the program.
Right.
Like, if you're looking for greener pastures and you're coming back, you're probably walking on because I've spent your money.
Yep.
Right? That's number one. So, and I think a lot of guys knee jerk reaction get into this. It's turned into the wild wild west, but there are not enough places for all these players, and that's fact. Okay, that's the first thing. So be careful before you get in the transfer portal. Just because all these Power Five guys are flipping around and flopping around and getting money to do this doesn't mean these guys at the lower level, lower levels of college baseball, still great levels of college baseball. It's different. It's different. I'm just telling you. Right. The second thing is analytics and scouting. I think the best organizations use the analytics and the metrics to back up
Right.
what the eyes see.
A supplement.
Yeah, it's to back up what the eyes see. So, like for example, I'm a scout and I go out, like, man, this guy's got some bat speed. He can run. He can do this. He can do this. Well, all those metrics, the TrackMan data, all that good stuff, back up what I'm seeing. Okay, so that I think that's important to understand because look, we've all recruited guys with good metrics that couldn't play the game, right? We've all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's guys out there with great metrics that need feel for the game or HTW or HTA, how to win awareness, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. HTWA. I'm off tonight. Sorry. So
Too
long
many.
day at the yard.
Right.
Long day at the yard.
That's
Long day
right.
at the yard. So anyway, I tried to be fancy and throw some coach speak out, but it backfired in my face. But the bottom line is, you know, you've got to kind of be able to play the game too, right?
Right.
And there's guys, unfortunately, that are successful in the game that don't have the metrics gets passed over, and that's a tough one too. So you got to kind of combine both.
And what was kind of funny in listening to them about the draft, some of the real good players are falling in the draft because it doesn't come down so much to the metrics. It comes down to the dollars and cents.
Yeah.
They're hoping like there's bonus money out there. I don't know if you're familiar or people are familiar with the structure. You get bonus money where you're drafting at like that. Well, the Cleveland Guardians had whatever it was, $18.2 million in bonus money. So they took the guy from Oregon State, hoping that he would sign for maybe half of that or whatever the rookie contract is. Now they can get another one because there's still bonus money there. They're not touching their own money yet. So that's why Pittsburgh took a high school infielder. They know they're going to have to pay Paul Skeens. I mean, he's starting the All-Star game as a rookie. I mean, he's a great pitcher, and who knows? But it still comes down to they want the best possible player for the best possible price. So analytics, yes, it plays a supplement, or it should play a supplement, but it's probably a supplement behind dollars and cents at that level.
Yeah. And scouting is very hard.
Oh yeah,
Just like, just like recruiting. Scouting's very hard. It's very hard to you're going to be wrong probably throughout your career. You're going to be wrong more than you're right, maybe. Okay, if you really look at it. But um it's difficult. I think it's difficult to the scout hitters, right? And project how they're going to do. I think it's probably easier to scout pitchers
right.
in their stuff. So I think it's good. This is a lot of fun to watch. I'm trying to kind of keep my eye on
Oh, great,
here right now.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually, where I live here, there's an unbelievable park. They base 8 baseball fields, all AstroTurf, 8 softball fields, all turf. I went over last week, and I was sitting next to a college scout, who was there to watch a young boy play, and he wrote a few things down, closed his pad up. Now they were warming up. Closed his pad up, put it in the bag, and I said, "Did you see enough?" And he goes, "I did." He goes, "I'm not as interested as I thought I was going to be because of the way he carried himself and warmed up." I went over to the softball tournament. College coach there watching girls play softball, and she walked away with 3 other names because of their effort and attitude that wouldn't have been in an analytic, but now they're in her vision. So it goes right back to one of those podcasts we did before. How are you carrying yourself on the field?
Yeah.
How are you doing this? Are you complaining every single pitch that's called against you? Uh, attitude, effort. Those are big things, And a lot of times, maybe that's why guys are still in the NIL and going back to or not the NIL, the transfer portal. And going back to that, you high school guys and girls should be thankful there's thousands that's still in there, because that means that they weren't good enough to cut it, and maybe they'll look at high schoolers again. Or the rosters, or on the other end, rosters are all filled up and everybody's going to lose out. So, I mean, the transfer portal is a crapshoot. High school kids got to work twice as hard to get noticed. You got to have people like us pushing for you now. Well, that's why we got in this business, and that's why we charge what we do. We charge very little. We help quite a lot, and we've had 100% success placing people so far, or helping them get placed. So that's the big thing. If you can find a niche somewhere, find it. If you've got a home and you're getting a scholarship, smile every day. The grass is not greener on the other side.
Absolutely. Well said. But you need somebody to help you out.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for. To help you, guide you, advocate for you. It's not our career, it's your career. But we've been around the block and we're here. We're here to help.
That's a polite way of saying we're old. Being around the block. Hey, and when you see us next time, we're going to we're upgrading here. We're going to give our podcast a name. We're going to call ourselves Rounding the Bases. Because everybody rounds the bases at some point, whether you run the bases as a little kid or you do on your team or whatever. But the other thing is, this means to me that we cover a variety of topics. And we're not the typical podcast that's just going to guide you through stuff. We'll answer questions for you. We'll give you things to do, but we're going to talk about a lot of different topics. From your play to your parents in the stands to how it could be anything. And if you send us in topics to our email address, we'll make it a topic on here. We'll discuss it. The other thing we're going to do is we're revamping our web platform. That should be up in a couple weeks, and making it a little more user friendly. Once we get that all going, but we're still out there. You see our web address right down on the bottom under my picture there. Check us out. We're here to help you. I feel bad whenever I go see a kid and they go, how's your college's search going? Well, not good. We're here.
We're here.
I sit and talk with the parents. I said, here, we're here. Then the next question you may get is, well, we don't know if he's good enough or she's good enough to play in college. You're spending the money for summer ball for some reason.
And we can tell you, based on our experience, where you fit in.
And that doesn't cost anything. We do that for free. The other big thing I got, I had a young man, 8th grade going into 9th grade. Well, I'm still too young. You're never too young, because you can always start building a profile. You can always start getting some ideas. Now's a great time at that 9th, 10th grade to start researching schools, is what we do for you, and send them to you. So don't ever think you're too young. Like you say, I was talking to an 8th grader in California who was 6'3", 185 as an 8th grader, going into 9th grade, already throwing in the 80s. Now, he projects to be someone very good, but is he too young to start looking right now? Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. And again, that might be the exception, but it's never too early. And that's why our price point, that we created, Coach Porter and I, is very low. We're here to help you. We want to. I'd love to see a girl playing on softball regional game, or a guy playing in the SEC tournament or whatever. We've had a couple of players that we worked with before that qualified for their own tournaments. One in NAIA, and one in a Division two. And I just got a note from one of them the other day. Best decision he's ever made. Still thanking me. So, that's where we are. You coach an American Legion team. I'm sure you've got players there that could use help.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a handful of kids that we're 2025s. We're trying to get on the board now, get them moving. So
Yeah,
absolutely. And one signed for this year as a 2024. So
yeah. That's our business. That's what we do. And
we're
every
going to
week,
work the phones for you. We're going to work the phones for you. We're going to call people. We're going to talk to the coaches. We're going to use our contacts, even if we don't know the person. Okay? Even if we don't know the person and you want us to reach out to them, we're going to do it by phone. We'll follow up with emails and notes and text messages, but it's important that you talk to these coaches as well, right? We're not just some third party out there firing away emails for you. That's not how we roll.
right? But the other end of this is you have to work at it too. There's so many people that are spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, excuse me, and then just sitting there thinking, "Well, I'm paying this much money, they should do it for me." And then guess what? They're going to do it for the other 150 clients that they're working with as well. So where does your time fit in? We're select. We give you individualized attention. We talk to people once a week, at least. We give you tips on emails, on Twitter, what to say to coaches, the questions to ask, things like that. Uh, so we don't bury ourselves with people, but we're here to help you. And we usually, like I say, we've had 100% so far. So it's been a great thing. Plus, we enjoy it. We're old and we have a lot of
Love
experience
it.
with coaches,
Love it.
So, but we'll be back on again next week. Finish watching the draft. Uh, Florida State just went to San Francisco. James Tibbs. But there's so many good players out there to compete. You just got to be that competitor that we talked about a couple weeks back. Be that person who does the intangibles. Be that person that walks up, shakes hands, kisses babies, the whole thing. Be that guy that everybody loves to hate because they want to be like you.
Absolutely.
And that's a baseball guy or a softball girl. Why do people hate Caitlin Clark or people like that in the WNBA? Because she's good, she hustles, but they spin it as she gets all the calls. Well, maybe she gets the calls because of her intangibles. I don't know. So be that person. That's the biggest compliment you can get, is to have somebody not like you because of how you play, in a positive way.
Absolutely.
But we'll be on again next week. By then, Coach Porter should know if he's the American Legion champions for his district up there in West Virginia. And he will be wearing the medal around his neck, so we can all talk about that. But we'll get into some other topics. But in the meantime, if you have any questions you want to ask us, get onto our website. You can email us directly right there, or go on and fill out that questionnaire tab on our website. Give us your information. We will evaluate you for free. We are not a company that's going to hound you to the end of the earth to sign on with us. If you want to sign on and like what you hear, we are here. If you don't, we'll go to the next person. And because when I was coaching, I was rejected a lot more than
Oh yeah.
we got in, because they all thought it was greener on the other side. And then when they found out they didn't have another place to go, they come back calling and there was no room. So we're here for you.
Absolutely.
Coach, anything closing?
Nah, enjoy the draft, watch it, learn, finish up your travel ball seasons and summer ball stuff, and enjoy the rest of the summer.
We'll see you next week on Rounding the Bases podcast.